Well, hello, fans of Sheepy Weepy Wimpy Wimpy now called me. It's been a bit of a hectic day here, as it has been raining most of the day till just now, which reminds me, of course, of the rain that the Grumpfatump and Smiley Wiggle, or Wiggle Smiley as we call him sometimes, as well as Dr. Farquhar First Real Friendly, were trying to make their way back with the people from the people of the Fancy Pants, who are going to do a dance to help the rhyme breaking of the poor animals and humans at Sheepy Weepy, now called Matt, who couldn't seem to talk in any way unless it was in rhyme, because once the language piece was fixed, that worked, but all of a sudden, although they could understand each other, it was all in rhyme. And now the people of the Fancy Pants and the three I mentioned were making their way back. Fancy Pants were very colorful. Another reason they were called Fancy Pants, because the colors were amazing. Bright oranges, bright blues, bright turquoise, you name it, and even the matching shirts, and they loved dancing. Of course, they also loved dancing in the rain, and they had danced, which had broken the trance in the three people, in Wiggle, Smiley, and Farquhar, and where the Grumpfatump hadn't been affected. But now they were tromping down the mountain, because they lived way up on a mountain, the people of the Fancy Pants, and they were making their way through a muddy field and cliffs and all of that. It could be slippery in some places. The Grumpfatump was carrying the ribbit. And so they made their way down, but it was getting worse, not better. And then they heard a strange sound, like, and they were frightened for a moment until Farquhar thought, I think I recognize that sound. It sounds like the sound of a moose. Now, what would a moose be? I bet it's the Grand Cow's cousin, the moose that came to Sheepy Wimpy Wimpy just before everything went kind of off the wall. And so, sure enough, they sped up a little bit through the rain, and there was the moose. Right, I found you. Oh, me, oh, my. Now what do I do? Even the moose was making everything in rhymes. It couldn't help itself. So they said, we know you're rhyming, and the people of the Fancy Pants, it's pretty wet now, so I'm not sure they'll do a dance. What's up? Why have you come? Aren't you drenched in this horrible rain? Is everything okay back there? Oh, me, oh, my, oh, no. I think we might have snow. Maybe some dough. I'm running out. I don't know. My rhymes no longer make sense. Not even in the fence that I jumped over to get here. And now I'm afraid I'm near you, too. Oh dear, this isn't going to work very well. What's going on, Moose? And the moose tried to explain. Of course, it was all in rhyme. The people are upset. They don't know what to do. I'm afraid they think they may end up in a zoo. And now, you know what's happened? They are not talking to each other. It's such a bother. They've got fed up, right to the cup. And now no one says anything at all. It's like we've had a big fall. Let me get this straight, said Dr. Farquhar First Real Friendly. Are you telling me that no one in Sheepy Weepy Wimpy Wimpy is talking to each other? Animals are not talking to humans, and humans are not talking to animals, and animals are not talking to each other, and humans are not talking to each other, and all of that's happened since we left? Yes, oh my, it's a mess. Oh, we must hurry. And the moose said, yes, get on my back, quick. We will have to do this like a trick to get there in time and break the rhyme. He said, well, perhaps you could carry the people of the Fancy Pants on your back and us, and the Grumpfatump can carry the ribbit, and we'll run as fast as we can to keep up with you, or the Grumpfatump will, and if you run while they ride you, we may make it in time. Oh, yes, it would be on a dime, the moose started to say. How about, Moose, you just be quiet and just run? I can do that. I'm not that fat. And off the moose went with the people of the Fancy Pants on its back, and the Grumpfatump growling and grumping and Grumpfatumping behind. And of course, Farquhar First Real Friendly and Wiggy Smiley were also on the moose, hanging on for dear life as they galloped to Sheepy Weepy Wimpy Wimpy, now called Meh, to see if they would be in time before everything completely fell apart and no one would talk to each other ever again. They desperately needed the people of the Fancy Pants to do a dance so they could break the rhyme this time. And we'll see what happens next Saturday. Thanks, everybody.